What kind of impact have you seen with the business?
We've doubled our engineering team size in, I think, about 3 months. I believe 5x the amount of annual recurring revenue we bring in on a monthly basis in just a single quarter. I think the entire company is like 2x as large as it was like a few months ago.
What is your number one driver right now in terms of your demos?
Our number one driver right now is paid acquisition, mostly through Google Ads.
Hey Brian, how's it going?
I'm good. How are you?
It's nice to meet you in person officially.
Likewise. It's great to have you over.
Yeah, it's good to be in Amsterdam, my first time. Sad to be leaving tomorrow, and
Short but sweet.
it's been great. I can't complain. And I just wanted to thank you guys for having me come out here. You guys have been an amazing partner, and I only see you guys having some immense rocket ship success. So really excited. Brian, quick couple of questions for you. So for those who may not be familiar with you and Oneleet, tell us a little bit about yourself and the company.
Absolutely. So Oneleet is a company that brings together all the tools you need to become compliant and secure. The core philosophy is really that in the past, when you'd want to get compliance, it was a little bit about ticking the right boxes and not necessarily caring so much about security. But we're flipping the script, and what we're doing essentially is giving companies the security tools first so that they can become secure, and where compliance follows as a natural result of that. And by bringing it all together, it's easy, fast, and you get to be secure, to boot. So yeah, that's basically what Oneleet is.
What did your paid media strategy look like before we started working together?
Our paid media strategy was basically non-existent. We relied very heavily on organic growth, and that was obviously very exciting for us at the time to be able to get people as excited as they were to come and work with us. But that really started becoming a growth problem because you don't control it, right? You don't have the levers to go harder. You don't really have the ability to hockey stick as much as you'd like. So we realized early on that we would have to go for a paid strategy at some point, but we just didn't have any idea where to start. And I think that's why we procrastinated on it for so long. We didn't know what good looked like. We didn't know how much money to spend on what. We didn't know what success would even mean. So we were scared that if we throw $10, $50, or $100,000 at Google, that it would yield nothing, or that it would yield something, but that we wouldn't be getting the right signal, that we didn't know how to optimize it. And that's really why we were looking for a partner that could help us with this. But as you probably know and realize, finding a partner is also very difficult because everybody tells you and everybody promises you the world. So to actually find the right partner that's a good fit, that allows you to really think things through in a way that where you feel that it's an honest partnership, right? Where you both tell each other, this is what we expect, this is what we want, without bullshitting each other, to put it that way. I think that's really what we were hoping for, and I couldn't be happier to have found that partner in you.
What made you decide it was time to bring a partner in?
I think one of the main components was that we had just raised a very significant Series A, and we knew from the very beginning, before the Series A even, that we would have to change strategy, when that moment came along. We also knew we didn't have the bandwidth or time to figure it all out ourselves. So we just knew that we were already behind. Our competitors were ahead of us in a number of ways, and we had to catch up. And the only way we felt we would be able to catch up was to find a partner like yourself. And that's really why we started the search, because God knows, if we would have started spending those dollars ourselves, it probably wouldn't have nearly been as efficient as it is now.
What does the process look like since we started working together?
Okay, so I'm going to have to defer for that question to our head of growth. But the way we essentially, if I can give a summary of what we do right now, is essentially what we're trying to do is figure out what we need to be focusing on in terms of the messaging we project, the campaigns we need to run, the ROI we expect from them. It really starts with building healthy funnel and pipeline, but it doesn't just mean like throwing an infinite number of dollars at a problem. I think we're growing in a very healthy way where we determine how many dollars we're spending at the moment, what the ROI is, what the return on ad spend is, and then we analyze like, what does our funnel do? Is our funnel optimized right now? Is it very leaky? Because obviously if your funnel's too leaky, you have to take a step back, make sure that your conversion goes up. So I think it's a very collaborative and iterative step where every time we spend more money, we analyze what we need to optimize to be able to go to the next stage. And we're trying to do that as quickly as possible. So we get feedback from you, for example, this is where we're failing. We scramble to get everything together as quickly as possible. And once we get to the right place, we're ready to throw some more money at it. And that's basically the cycle we're going through. And we have yet to hit a ceiling. So excited to continue this path.
Question is, what is your number one driver right now in terms of your demos?
So I would say that as opposed to what was previously the case, our number one driver right now is paid acquisition, mostly through Google Ads. We've really seen this massive change, and it's actually interesting when I speak to investors that we spoke to previously, they was all skeptical about us being able to build out a repeatable growth, go-to-market motion, and they were like, oh, you sold to YC companies and that's great and all, but how are you going to become a sustainable, scalable company? And I think that that's exactly what we figured out over the past few months, the ability to find this channel that would allow us to put money in it and have a very predictable and repeatable motion that would allow us to predict how much money we get out of that. And that's essentially what we've achieved and what we've come to rely upon. Google Ads mostly, but also LinkedIn has been wonderful for us. We're still discovering what other channels work for us, but having unlocked these channels already has been a massive change and a huge reason we've been growing as fast as we are.
For sure. I mean, Google is a powerhouse. LinkedIn and all the work that you're doing on LinkedIn with all your social proof ads, and all the founders that are currently working with you. And then there's also X, which completely untapped, which we have a lot of potential to go after. So really exciting in terms of more scale and things that we can do across video and YouTube. So there's a lot we can put out.
Yeah, we're only scratching the surface.
What kind of impact have you seen with the business?
And you mean in terms of like the paid acquisition channels?
In terms of paid, in terms of growth, and then any other external factors, obviously the growth of the business.
Yeah, so I think what's really interesting is that previously we were in a place where we were very mindful of where we put our money, our funding, because we just didn't have that much to spend before Series A. We'd have to, essentially look at every penny before we spent it. That meant that we had to hold back on things like marketing. We had to hold back on a number of hires. We had to be ultra efficient. And if you want to build a scalable, rapidly growing company, even though you always aim to be efficient, efficiency can't always be the number one thing you aim on, right? You need to emphasize and prioritize growth over any and everything, really. And I think that that's really the position we're finding ourselves in now. We found a scalable, repeatable way to grow our business. And that also means that we've been able to expand the team. We've been able to go a lot harder on product. We've doubled our engineering team size in, I think, about 3 months. I think the entire company is like 2x as large as it was like a few months ago.
Yeah.
And that just wouldn't have been possible without the amount of growth we're seeing now. And it's also really putting us in a position where we can continue down that path and where we can, get to a great place to raise a Series B, which is going to unlock even more. So I think that the key to growth is truly what we were looking for. And I think that that's what we found.
Yeah. How big is the company? How many employees is it now?
So we are about to hit 60 people. We were at like 25 just like 4 or 5 months ago, I believe. So it's a pretty significant, uptake in headcount. But revenue has also just increased massively. We've, I believe, 5x the amount of annual recurring revenue we bring in on a monthly basis in just a single quarter.
Wow.
And that's the type of growth and hockey stick, shape that we've been looking for all along. And this is a great time for Oneleet.
Yeah, that's amazing. Amazing. Thank you so much. This is super insightful, and really excited to come back, maybe 3 months from now and just hear where you might be in terms of how much further we can go up that hockey stick.
Let's do it. Looking forward to it.
Amazing.